Okay, today's workshop is going to be focused on what we call keywords. Keywords are essential when it comes to any type of online marketing. Now, I want to take a moment and define what keywords are. Keywords are words or phrases that are commonly searched on Google and other search engines. Now, it's important. You want to find words and phrases that are related to your product and your services that are being searched for. If you build your web presence around words and phrases that are not being searched for, you are absolutely wasting your time and efforts. You want your web presence to be built around words and phrases that are being searched by the online search engines, especially Google. You also want to build your web presence around keywords and phrases that you can rank higher in the search engines than your competition. Highly searched words have far more competition than lower search terms, especially those words or phrases that are searched hundreds of times per day or more. Ideally, you want to find words that have no more than about 70,000 to say about 80,000 words. I mean, not exactly words, but are searched 70,000 to 80,000 times per day. Now, this is on the high side, and no less than 20,000 searches per day on the low side. Ideally, you want to be somewhere in between. You then want to look at the websites that you'll be competing against. You want to look at their Alexa rankings, their traffic, their backlinks, their domain, their age, their meta tags, and even though meta tags are not as important as they used to be, you still want to look at those. Because your goal is to make your website even more attractive to the search engines than your competition. And this way, you can rank higher than they can. Now, even little things like having your keywords as your domain name or making sure your keywords are at the top of your web page can make a difference. Writing articles that link back to your website and getting them published in high-ranking authority sites. And what I mean by that, these are sites that have low Alexa rankings. Websites with low Alexa rankings are what we call authority sites. And when you get your articles and things published on these types of blogs or e-zines, it increases the value of your site in the eyes of the search engine spiders. Now remember, research is the essence of finding the proper keywords that you will utilize in all of your marketing efforts. Even though viral marketing and social media marketing are not as dependent on keywords as search engine optimization, your viral marketing and social media marketing can create backlinks from very high-ranking authority sites. Facebook is a high-ranking authority site. YouTube is a high-ranking authority site. The Warrior Forum is a high-ranking authority site. So when you have backlinks from sites like that, they can increase your ranking with Google. So in essence, keywords are critical, in fact, essential at all levels of internet marketing. So now we're going to look at some of the essential or more important tools that you must have in order to conduct internet research or keyword research. Now these tools, these essential tools, are free. The first one is we call the Google Keyword Tool, and you can reach it by going to the URL that's on the screen right now. And I'll let it sit there a minute to give you a time to copy that down. Another free tool that you're going to want to have access to is Alexa.com, which is easy to find. And we're going to go through these in a little bit more detail. Another essential free tool is compete.com, which is at compete.com/US. This tool will help you to determine traffic even when that traffic is not through search engines. Another tool is a plugin to Firefox called SEO Quake. This tool is going to save you a lot of time. Now, the tools that I'm getting ready to show you next, they're not essential, but these are tools that you just got to have when you can afford them. You can find them at a place called Veritech, and there are 3 different levels. One, they have what they call a silver account, which is free. You can say it's like a Cadillac. It can help you in your SEO marketing. However, it's the gold account that's the Mercedes-Benz. Now, it is a little expensive because it is the Mercedes-Benz. It's $59 per month. You can do quite well without it, but with it, you can even compete with some of the more competitive sites that are out there. And if you really want to be competitive and you can afford it, you want to get their platinum account. Now, I do believe they're selling some platinum accounts at $1,000 right now, but they run on average around $1,500. You have to have a gold account, and folks, this is like the Ferrari. And this particular account will take your search engine optimization to levels you could never achieve any other way without it. Okay, now that we've gone through that, we're going to demonstrate how to use these tools, and we're going to use the term comic books. So we're going to deal with someone that has a comic book type business. And I only picked that because I just happen to know there's someone in our group that does. First thing you want to do is go to the Google keyword tool. Now, when you go to the URL that I gave you, it'll say Google toolbox. You want to click on the keyword tool. Now, when you're in the keyword tool, if you don't have an account that you signed in on, you're going to have to put this little captcha there. The captchas get on my nerves, so if you give me a second, I'm going to sign into my account so I don't have to continuously use the captcha. And since I'm doing this live, folks, I may do a little editing depending on how much time that I have before our class time starts. It takes a little time for this particular screen capture program that I'm doing to render these videos. So, now, when you're into the Google keyword tool, you want to start off with with your topic, with your product name, whatever it is, to begin the process. And so this time I'm going to put comic book. And then we're going to start the search. Okay. I don't see my little arrow there. I hope the search is going on. Let me just check something, folks. I don't see my little arrows. So hopefully this is still recording. Anyway, I'm going to hope that it is. Now, as you scroll down, you're going to see that comic books, even though it says competition low, it has over 2,740,000 searches. So you know this is a highly searched term. But the competition on that is quite high. Even locally, it's like 1,500,000 searches per day. And if you were going to do a pay-per-click program, you would have to bid at least 70 cents or higher to get a paid ranking with that term. So let's look at some other terms. I want to go down past all these 100,000s and I want to get into the 70, 80, $40,000 range and see what keywords are here. Okay, online comics free, digital comics, comic book characters, comic book heroes, comic books, old comics, online comic book. So let's try, let's look at online comic book. Now, incidentally, you can check these, the ones that you think will apply to you, and then you can click view as text. You can download them, but right now we're not going to go into that much detail. I just kind of want to demonstrate how to use. So we're going to use, I said, comic book heroes. Now, we see that there are 42,400,000 comic book hero searches being done just right now. And these are the ones that are coming up. Now, what we don't see is any paid. And also, I have to tell you, my SEO Quake is not quite working the way it should. Normally, I'll have all my information under each site, but that's okay because I also have what is called SEO Book, which will help me to get some statistical information. And before I begin, when you go to SEO Quake, you want to download the plugin for Firefox, but you also may want to download their SEO Book as well, because as you see, sometimes SEO Quake does not quite come up the way that you want. So let's take a look at what we got here. We have comicbookheroes.com info. We have another one, comic book, MySpace. Okay, comicvine.com characters. 50 greatest comic book characters. Marvel. You probably have a hard time competing against Marvel. This is something I want to show you. When you see these Wikipedia sites, if you see a lot of these are hard to compete against. And also, this little bar that you see here, I also have the Alexa 2 bar on my computer, so I can get quick rankings with Alexa. So I'm going to take a look at this one here, this website. Okay, comic book characters. And let's take an examine and see if we can compete against this site. First of all, this site has an Alexa ranking of 8,000. The lower the Alexa ranking, the more popular that site. This site gets a lot of traffic. It has an 8,000 Alexa ranking. In fact, anything under 100,000 is an authority site. In fact, if I were in the business of comic books, I might want to see if it would be possible for me to get a link on this site, because with a ranking like that, it would increase my rankings in the search engines. This site, let's take a look at compete.com. And this site gets a lot of traffic. We're talking 178,000 here, 158,000, 97. Okay, this is a powerful site that has done a lot of work to get themselves ranked high in the search engines. So let's go back to this website. We're going to see if we can look in under the hood. To do that, you want to go to View Page Source. And we want to see. Now, some current sites use scripts, and you can't always see, but this one, this is what I'm talking about, meta tags. You see meta name, keywords, description, and you want to look at the description and keywords. Now, this is what shows up in the search engines But here are the key words, and it's interesting. They have Oscars, Academy Awards, Empire. Okay, you may want to take some of these keywords that they're using to get ranked in the search engines. But right now we're looking for comic book heroes. So you see there. Now let's look at their Alexa. And we're going to, let me go back here. I want to take this site. Well, actually I can do it from here. It'll take me straight to their Alexa. Okay. As you see, 8,000 globally. In Great Britain, 752. They have good traffic. Let's see if we can see some words that we might be able to borrow. Okay, so they get a lot of traffic from best Christmas movies, 3D movies. Okay. If you look down here, Empire magazines. All right, these are some terms you may want to have on your site in order to increase your rankings as well. Now, there's a whole lot of information in Alexa. We don't have time to go through all that today. But go into Alexa, play around with it. Same thing with Compete, and you will gain a lot of information about keywords. Now, after looking at this particular keyword, it is one that I might consider. However, I will tell you, you would have a hard time competing against that particular site. Let me go back and look at that again. Where did I... And remember I told you that when it comes to keyword research, it's an art. It's not just technique, it's an art. Okay, let's look and see what else is ranking high for that keyword term. You know, we're not going to go against Wikipedia or Marvel or Amazon.com. But let's look at this one, comic books. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. Now, remember, this is an about.com. This is an article that someone wrote. And their article is ranking high in the search engines. And their article is coming from about.com. Which is interesting because that means that, truth of the matter is, you can get your articles, you can write articles and submit them to about.com as well and have backlinks to your site. So that's pretty much what this one is about. Someone is using about.com, which is a high ranking site, to get backlinks, and what they did was they picked up their article under comic book heroes, which is also increases that website's ability to get Alexa rankings. So let's look at a little bit more. Let's look at another keyword. I would consider this term. One of the reasons I would do so is you look on here, you don't see that term as a domain name. Now, it doesn't really matter what my comic book is about. If I picked up that domain name, if it was available, that would give me a chance to get up there into the higher rankings. So that would be one that I would look into, comic book heroes. And as you say, it says low competition here. And it's right there in that mid-range, 49,500 sites on a global search, 27,000 locally. Let's look at something else, another term that might fit. Let's look up Christian comic book. Let's just see what would happen. Christian. Christian Okay, now I want them on the same line. I'm sorry. If they're not on the same line, it's going to assume two different searches. Okay, Christian comic book does not get a lot of searches. So using Christian comic book as a keyword, that's one of those that you just, remember I said if you use a keyword that's not getting any search traffic, it's a waste of time. Well, with only 880 searches globally and 720 locally, this is a terrible keyword. So don't use Christian comic books as a keyword. But let's look and see what else we can do. Okay. Interesting. Bookstore. Comic graphic. Christian cartoon. Now this is low ranking Christian cartoon, but excuse me. If I were dealing with Christian comic books, I might include this as one of my keywords. Low search terms, however, low competition, may be able to rank pretty high with that. Let me just take a quick look. Christian cartoon. 190 million searches. ChristianCartoons.com. Joyful Tunes. I'm not going to go look at these particular sites because if I was dealing with comic books, I probably would want something more in line with comics, books. Okay. Let's try graphic novels. Okay, 300,000 searches on that. What kind of keywords can we look? I don't really like any of those right now. Top graphic novels, that's a possibility. Best graphic novel, possibility. Even comics for sale, not a bad title. Let me look and see what we get under that. Now, you see these in this pink, these are paid per click titles. All of these on this side are paid per click, so people are competing for this particular keyword. And let's look at comicsforsale.com. So they got the highest ranking, but let's look at something else. My Comic Shop or Mile High Comics. Incidentally, I used to buy a lot of comic books, and I happen to recognize that name. It's a place where I used to buy books from online. Okay. Let's kind of take a quick look under the hood if we can. You might want to put some of these terms that they have here in your meta tags. One way of finding meta tags is to look and see what sites are ranking. You notice here keywords: my comic books, used comic books, collectible comic books, back issue, trade paperbacks. Depends on whether they apply to you. I wouldn't use their description. Okay, so we look at their meta tags. I notice that they don't have the key phrase at the top of the site. Okay, you could compete against this site, believe it or not, even though it seems to be a very popular site. It's Alexa ranking. It doesn't have a high Alexa ranking. Oh, that's Comics for Sale. It has a terrible Alexa ranking, but Comics for Sale wasn't the one that I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at Mile High, which has a little bit better Alexa ranking. Okay, 128,000. Pretty decent Alexa ranking. Okay, it's not in the millions or something. They don't have a lot of backlinks, but apparently I think this site has been around a while. Okay, and we could look around this site a little bit. Oops, I didn't mean to go there. I meant to. I want to look here. Now this is not good. Not a whole lot of traffic. Not showing a lot of traffic. So let's take a look at compete for this particular site. And they have a lot of traffic here. This means they're getting traffic not necessarily through search engines. They're getting traffic that they're driving there through other marketing tactics, because they're getting millions of sites of hits. According to, well, no, that's Alexa. I'm sorry. I'm no wonder. That is not the right one. Let me get that. Mile High Comics. I was getting ready to say that didn't make a whole lot of sense. Now I know why. I was looking at the wrong one. Okay. But they're still doing pretty good. And sometimes you got to look at compete, because Alexa might not show the traffic, because traffic could be coming through other sources. So this company is doing a good job of marketing through other mediums other than just search engines. Okay. I would pick as a keyword search tool, as a keyword search, I would use both of these plus the other. Now, there's a whole lot more to search engine research. I just wanted to give you a quick introduction. What you want to do is, once you find these keywords, for this time, for instance, let's say that we're going to take top graphic novels. Then you want to go to a domain registrar. I'm just going to pick Namecheap. And see what type of name availability you have for that keyword. And what was the keyword I said again? Let me go back to Google so I can remember what that keyword. Top graphic novel. graphic novel search. Incidentally, that's pretty interesting because topgraphicnovel.com is available. I would probably take that as a keyword. Take that, and if I was marketing a graphic novel or a comic book, I would take that as a domain name and use it to build my web presence with. Another thing that you need to understand is that when it comes to search engine optimization tactics, even though I would definitely take topgraphicnovel.com since it's available, but if it wasn't available, I would go for some of the cheaper ones. And I'm looking to see if they got a .info. .info. You see .info $2.99? I might take that one as well. So now I would begin to build a site built around the keyword top graphic novel, and I would pick a couple other keywords, and I would start now writing articles. I would start to put up my website where I would make sure these keywords are included in it, incorporating it in it, and I would begin the process of trying to get ranked high in the search engines for the top word topgraphicnovel.com. Okay, that concludes the training for tonight. We will be doing more of this as we go along.